Yes, here we are, Sports Bit, Betting Inside today. Happy Memorial Day out there. Be safe. Short show because you know you want to spend time with family, picnic, barbecue, spend time with the kids, whatever you want to do. So no deep dive today. We'll hit the NFL hard as we continue our team previews later in the week. NBA Finals right around the corner as well. So thanks for watching and the uptick in views as well. Happy Memorial Day out there. 2 baseball games and big game breakdown coming up. Bad beats, bad bets. Bad for the books, a bad beat. Auto racing with the Indy 500, and Dixon was the favorite. He goes out early, and Sato gets the win, Teddy.
Yeah, I mean, Dixon went off the top pick because he's probably the most consistent driver, but it doesn't matter. A mistake by Jay Howard ended up taking him out of the race on lap 55. Takuma Sato, 18-1, comes through with the victory. And, Pauly, I went to the Indy 500 once. I passed out in the infield during the race, and I've never been back.
I thought he'd be higher than 18-1. I never heard of him. Unbelievable. I went to one race in my life. I left early. Yeah, it's loud. Yeah, I don't get it. It's a left-hand turn for 3 hours. Incredible. Let's get to Major League Base. Or is it a right-hand turn? Whatever. Major League Baseball. Is it a left? All right, very good. Let's go to MLB. Cardinals, Rockies. Vicious speed here. Under 11. 4-0 Rockies into the 6th. No panic. 4-3 bottom of the 8th. But the bullpens blew up in this one. 8-4 final. Rockies get the win. Goes over.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look at the weekend at Coors for that St. Louis bullpen. Look, the Cardinals starters, every bit as good as the Rocky starters over the course of the weekend. The Cardinals bullpen, not so much. They got bashed. 11 runs in 5.2 innings, including another ugly showing on Sunday. Under 11 bettors took the brunt of that bad beat.
Here's another one. Twins and the under. It was 5-3 in the 9th. 2 outs with a runner on. Base hit, couple more hits, goes to extra innings. Rays take the lead. Twins tie it, and then they win it in 15 innings. We'll discuss that because we think it matters in big game breakdown. But that was tough. Twins in the under. 5-3 in the 9th. They lose in extras.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the score's 3-3 in the 8th. You know, you got under 9.5. You're feeling pretty good. Someone gets a run to win. You got a little bit of room to spare. Oh, well, 5-3, 2 outs in the 9th. Twins and under look good? No, not so good. The two teams combined to use 15 relievers. The Twins finally went to their starter, Hector Santiago, in the 15th, and he wasn't good. He gave up home runs to Evan Longoria and Logan Morrison on back-to-back pitches. Twins and under, if you had either one, that was a tough beat.
All right, bad bets now. And how about over the weekend? Saturday, 14 of the 16 games went under. And also on Saturday, home teams went 12-4 straight up. The overs were a horrible bet on Saturday.
Yeah, and look, we've been talking for the last month about how overs. There's been a consistent run of overs. There's been a steady stream of overs. The books worried about getting beaten on overs every day, and then you have a day like Saturday where 14 of 16 games cashed under tickets. The books enjoyed that one. If you're betting overs on Saturday, yeah, nothing but bad bets.
All right, more bad bets. Blue Jays, 30-cent move. They took money against Cashner. They couldn't do anything on offense. They lost 3-1, and the Brewers Diamondbacks total bet down from 9 to 8.5.
Yeah, I mean, Toronto, Josh Donaldson and Troy Tulowitzki back in the lineup. No surprise they've been taking money all weekend, but that duo combined to go 0-for-8 on Sunday. Nothing all that special from Andrew Cashner. He only had 2 strikeouts over 7 innings, but the Rangers' defense behind him was solid. They get the 3-1 victory. And as for Brewers and the D-backs, well, I mean, the books really don't like to move off a 9 or 7, but no sweat in this one. Bettors had the right idea with Jimmy Nelson. He struck out 10, didn't walk a batter, but nothing else with that total. Patrick Corbin has struggled on the road. The game was already over the total before the Brewers bullpen blew up late. That game flew over the total. Bad bet on that Brewers D-backs under.
All right, bad for the books. 35-cent move on the Giants. It was against Dickey, not as much on Cueto, who came in 4-4 with a high ERA. They won 7-1. They were all over Dickey. It was 7-0 in the 3rd. And look at this. Padres took money, and they won.
Yeah, look, that proves that there is such a thing in existence as San Diego Steam. Even though the team was 18-33 entering the day on Sunday, Padres took money. Padres got the money. Wise guys clean up. Bad news for the books. As for the Giants, I mean, R.A. Dickey, geez, you know, it's the 3rd straight season that his ERA's gone up. He's got a 4.65 ERA after 10 starts. I don't know if how much longer we're going to see R.A. Dickey as a major league starter. He's gone about as low as he can go now with a bottom feeder team struggling there. Tough beat for over 8 bettors in that ball game, though. You're 7-1 in the top of the 6th, and then nothing but goose eggs the rest of the way. A push. It's not a bad beat. A bad push if you had that over.
Up next, big game breakdown. Two-day games in Major League Baseball. By the time the show airs, you still have plenty of time to watch this and get down on some action. Prices back for the Red Sox and stats on Irvin Santana you will not believe. Plus, we look to stay red hot with the play of the day on SportsBit. Betting Insight today on SBRpicks.com.
What's up, everyone? I'm Drew Martin with SBR. Want to give you an update on a free handicapping contest that we're putting together. It's called the MLB June Bet Points Contest. The purse is 1,500 SBR bet points, which go to the top 5 finishers. The top 5 finishers also get an SBR t-shirt, and the winner of the contest can be featured on one of SBR's shows. I'm Drew Martin for SBR. Make sure to find it on the SBR tab on the SBR website. I'll see you in the contest.
Back on SportsBit, Betting Insight today. Big game breakdown in a second. Follow us on Twitter at Pauly Howard at Teddy_covers. May was a nightmare for the books. Favorite and over. It started with Clemson, Alabama. It continued with the Super Bowl with the Patriots. And it was Golden State and Cleveland all day, every day. And they went 24-1 straight up. And many of those games, not only was it for the game, Teddy, Golden State, Cleveland kept covering first halves, too.
Yeah. A great article from Patrick Everson over at Covers.com talking about how really this isn't a short-term problem. May has been a very, very bad month for the books. Listen to this quote from Jake Cornegay over at the Westgate, the Superbook Vice President of Race and Sports. Quote, that pretty much describes the last 8 months or so. It's been a tough run. We know it can be streaky at times, but it just kind of feels like on this side of the counter, we've been on the challenging side. Cornegay continued, the big games are going against us. NFL playoffs, Clemson beating Alabama, the Super Bowl. For the Super Bowl, a lot of books were balanced going in, but by the third quarter, all that in-game wagering on the Patriots meant the comeback went against us. You know, and he's not the only one that's complaining. Look at Nick Vodanovich's quote. Paul, you want to read that one, or should I go for it?
Yeah, you could go ahead. Read that. I want to read that. I want to read Stonebeck. Take Bogdanovich, who's a good guy.
Sure. Bogdanovich, he was director of trading for William Hill. The last 3 weeks have been terrible. The thing is, when public bettors get on a run, they have a little bit more money to bet, and they get a little bit more dangerous. So if you get a prolonged run, you tend to notice the hits more. What do you got from Stonebeck over at the MGM?
Well, he made a good point about because it's an MGM property, they get a lot of big players in there for blackjack and table games. So these guys want to take a chance on NBA playoffs or sports once in a while. And he said they have several big casino players, favorite and over every game. You got a guy who's a big player, not a sharp bettor, but he's been winning a lot. Quote, I got a guy who comes in for every NBA playoff game, bets 10 to 25,000 on favorites and overs, so sometimes that's 50,000 a night. He's not bet one underdog at all, and it's straight bets, not parlays, but all the parlays have been hitting 2, and those add up, end quote. And he's right with those not to mention with the damage that the public's been doing too, because you get that parlay liability where you hit a 2-team parlay and you carry it over to Tuesday or Wednesday, and it's more favorites. And that, I mean, you had that stretch where it was Cavs and over Warriors and over Cavs and over Warriors and over, Teddy.
Sure. And look, we're not going to cry for the bookmakers, okay? It's not going to happen. Yeah, we lost money. Guess what? Every sports book is still standing. Every sports will have their lights on tomorrow morning. But as a bettor who often looks to take advantage of value or to take advantage of, public inflating lines and that sort of thing, it hasn't been a real good run over the last month or so for myself either. Luckily, of course, it's Monday. It's Memorial Day. We got a couple of games to talk about, see if we can get things on the right track.
All right, Red Sox and White Sox, price against Holmberg. Red Sox $1.80 on the road, 9 the total, over minus 125. Looks like it's going to 9.5, and early money on the Red Sox too. Is Price ready, or did they rush him? 5 2/3 across 2 rehab starts at AAA. Allowed 9 runs, 6 earned on 12 hits with 8 strikeouts. He did hit 96 in his second outing. He isn't worried. Quote, I wasn't very good when I made my rehab starts in 2013, and I came back and threw the ball very well. There's no replacing the feeling of the adrenaline you're going to have at this level. To me, this is home. This is my comfort zone, where I want to be. Doesn't matter what level I make rehab starts at all. It's not going to feel the same, end quote. And I don't know how far each starter is going to go in the game, but both managers can go to the pen quick if they want. Look at the bullpen ERA, Teddy.
Yeah, sure. And, I mean, stamina is not going to be a huge issue, as you mentioned, for Price in this ballgame. I mean, the Red Sox got a complete game from Brian Johnson on Saturday, and then 6 1/3 from Rick Porcello yesterday. So the full bullpen is ready to go. And obviously, when you look at the numbers from that graphic that show both the White Sox and the Red Sox in the top 4 among Major League Baseball teams in bullpen ERA so far this season, the fact is, this is the type of game you would expect to see both bullpens come in for extended stretches. And when Price says he's not worried, even though his rehab and AAA numbers weren't very good, and the markets say, don't worry, look, the money coming in on Boston $1.80 in this ballgame, I'm willing to believe Price's quote and saying, look, you know, AAA just doesn't do it for me. I'll be fine when I get back to the big league level. I'm not expecting Price at an A game, 7 innings of shutout ball type of contest, but it is a game where they get 4 or 5 good innings at a Price. They can pull them and feel good about their chances. And, of course, it's not a bad team for Price to break in against, Pauly. The Chicago White Sox just aren't hitting the baseball on a consistent basis.
23 in OPS, but Abreu having a good year as well. He might be underrated because he's so consistent. Check out these numbers. Look at this graphic. You see the average on-base percentage and the slugging the last 4 years. But can there be any consistency expected from Holmberg? Second-round pick in 2009. Did not make it to MLB until 2013 with the D-backs for 1 appearance. The Reds in 2014, 2015. Then back to the White Sox, who first drafted him. So that's almost 8 years to the day the Sox drafted him before he gets an MLB start in their uniform. So Holmberg with only 1 start and 14 appearances this season, and 0 with the White Sox. Rondon on the DL, Shields and Covey added as well. And even after Saturday's doubleheader, the rotation lacks options as well. Decent stuff in relief. 0.87 ERA over 10 innings pitched. No saves or holds, meaning low leverage in that one. I tend to agree with you that I wouldn't expect much out of Price, but the guy he's going against is no bargain either.
Well, yeah, the fact is, all right, yeah, you got a 0.87 ERA over 10.1 innings in relief. But when you have no saves and no holes, and you've only been in these low leverage spots, facing the Red Sox lineup, not going to be an easy task. But look, the White Sox, with Rodon on the DL, Shields and Covey are added to the DL, and then that Saturday doubleheader, they don't have a lot of options for their rotation. And if things get ugly for the White Sox, this might be a take one for the team type of start from young Mr. Holmberg.
All right, one more, same time, 11:15 Pacific. Astros and the Twins, good matchup here. Astros running away with the West. Twins playing good ball as well, even though they lost 2 out of 3 at home to the Rays, the first place Twins. It's Peacock against Santana. Steam early on the Astros. They're a $1.20 road favorite, 9 the total. And the magic of Santana looks like a big turnaround. Look at this. Last year, 7-11 with a 3.38. This year, 7-2 with a 1.80, Teddy. But we teased it earlier. Let's do a deep dive into his numbers.
Sure. You look at the huge turnaround, and then you look at the advanced metric stats. Well, let's see. His strikeout rate is down. His walk rate is up. His fielding and pitching is up. His park-adjusted fielding and pitching is up. And his Sierra is up from last year. So how can a guy have his strikeouts go down, walks goes up, falls off on all the key metrics, but come out of that with Cy Young contending type of numbers? How's that happening? Simple. One of the best early season BABIP runs ever. Batting average on balls in play. Now just look, okay? Santana this season, batting average on balls in play is 136. There's no one else in the big leagues that is currently below 200. You look at recent years, okay? Each of the last 5 years prior to this season. You got a 234 and a 216, a 238, and here's Santana with a 136. So he's running almost 100 points below the average for the best in the category among all pitchers in baseball over the last 5 years. What does that tell us, Pauly? That tells us that Erwin Santana's numbers are unsustainable, and he is a bet against pitcher. Now, there is something to the huge BABIP improvement. That's, of course, the Twins' defense. 2016, as a team, Minnesota, a 319 BABIP. That was number 29 in baseball. This year, as a team, 261 batting average on balls in play. That's number 1 in baseball. So far, it is the biggest single-season jump in MLB history. That certainly explains part of that good run from Santana. But the other big factor, man, defensively, this squad a heck of a lot better than they were a year ago. But for Minnesota spot-wise, Pauly, they need Erwin Santana to churn some innings because 6 different relievers threw at least 20 pitches yesterday, not counting Santiago's 21 as a starter in that extra inning game against Tampa.
The Astros need Peacock to come out of the bullpen, step in and start. Needed him to do that last Monday. 4 1/3 scoreless inning pitch, 8 strikeouts of the 16 batters he faced. Now a combination of events put him back out there again. He was good. Fires has been terrible. Continues to give up a lot of home runs. He's got an ERA of 5 and change. Another Peacock start allows the other starters to get an extra day off too. What do you think of this move?
Well, you could add, the Peacock's been good. Fears is struggling. Everyone gets a day off. And let's not forget number 4. When you have a 10-game lead in the division in May and a hot lineup, these are the type of things that A.J. Hinch gets to do. Here's his quote. 1, it's always nice to give pitchers extra rest. Pushing Morton back gives him extra rest, and Musgrave, after last night's start, is going to stay on regular rest. We'll put Fears in the bullpen for the time being and for the Minnesota series and see where that takes us. Fires, I'm sorry, yes. I don't want to rush to judgment and say that it's a long-term change, but it's really the way things have lined up. And Peacock stuff, he's been ridiculous this season so far. 2-0 with a 0.87 ERA, 20.2 innings of work. He's got 30 strikeouts, only 8 hits allowed. That's nasty stuff. Now, he might be out of sync a little. He's a full week without an appearance, but certainly we're talking about Brad Peacock, a guy who has a lot of potential to shut down that young Twins lineup.
All right, money time, play of the day. Let's stay red hot. Winner Friday with the Dodgers. Wood does it again. Doesn't give up a run. How about what the Dodgers did to the Cubs? How about that score, Teddy? Kershaw gets 6 runs. He can't even go 5 innings. That was crazy, that game. 9-4 Dodgers in that one. I told you about Bellinger, too. Get that guy in the lineup. 10 home runs already in 31 games. That hasn't happened in Dodger history. Oh, unbelievable. Adrian Gonzalez out there. They got 1 home run. All right, money time, play of the day. Let's stay red hot. Winner with the Dodgers Friday. We'll follow the steam, and it makes sense. Santana's alternated good and bad starts the last 5 outings, coming off a complete game shutout, and he has to eat innings in this one, too. Betting number 973, Astros, -120. Lay it. Enjoy the day. Cash some tickets. We'll see you right back here Tuesday on SportsBet. Betting Insight today on SBRPicks.com.